Whether you love the outdoors or prefer to indulge your senses in a museum, the world is packed with beautiful places for you to visit. From lakes that rival the world's archipelagos to ancient monuments that have been around since the dawn of time, there's no shortage of incredible destinations to fill up your bucket list. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at some of the most beautiful places Earth has to offer. If you're looking for a new place to add to your travel journey, then you've come to the right place. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. Located in the far north of Vietnam near the Chinese border is the breathtaking Ha Long Bay. You may know this impressive landscape from James Bond Tomorrow Never Dies. While it's certainly a great film, it doesn't do Ha Long Bay justice. Not one bit. Ha Long Bay is made up of nearly 2,000 islands, each of which has its own distinct formation, shape, fauna and flora. Even the rock formations found on each island are totally unique. To keep things simple, the islands were named after their shapes, like Mai Na, which means a roof, or Gar Choi, which means fighting rooster. In the local language, Ha Long Bay means the bay where dragons landed. Sounds cool, huh? Vietnamese legend states that when the country was under attack by invading ships a few hundred years ago, the gods sent dragons to help the people of Vietnam defend themselves. During the fighting, these dragons dropped their jewels into the ocean, which would later become the islands of the Ha Long Bay. They also created a barrier to prevent invaders from reaching the shore, protecting Vietnam from invaders. The legend also says that the dragons decided not to return to heaven and remain on Earth, still residing beneath Ha Long Bay's waters today. Whether you go to look for dragons or just to get a taste of Vietnam's incredible beauty, Ha Long Bay is the perfect bucket list item for anyone with insatiable wanderlust. Number 9. The Colosseum, Italy. There are, of course, dozens upon dozens of attractions to visit in the Italian capital city of Rome, but it would be ridiculous to pass up the opportunity to visit the historic, powerful Colosseum. This massive arena once hosted the gladiatorial battles of the ruling emperor, but is now an important piece of history that is open for viewing by the public. Back in its day, the Colosseum would seat around 50,000 spectators, who received protection from the sun via a massive retractable velarium. The Colosseum was host to thousands of hand-to-hand sparring matches between gladiators, contests between men and animals, and many larger combats, sometimes even mock naval engagement to demonstrate the Roman naval power. There were 36 trapdoors positioned all throughout the arena for special effects, as well as a network of underground rooms and passages to hold gladiators and wild animals before the games began. When an ancient emperor wanted to gain some popularity, he would organize and pay for events in the Colosseum himself. Ancient Romans didn't have to pay for entry, and there was sometimes even free food throughout the spectacle. While you won't be able to see gladiators duke it out in the Colosseum today, unless you have a very active imagination, this historic site is still an incredibly beautiful destination to behold. Number 8. The Amazon Rainforest, South America. Deep green and teeming with life, the Amazon Rainforest is unlike any other place on Earth. There's no other jungle in the world so impressive, which is probably why the Amazon is nicknamed the green lung of the Earth. For naturalists watching, wandering through this jungle should definitely be on your bucket list. The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest, larger than its two rivals in the Congo Basin and Indonesia combined. At around 6.9 million square kilometers, the Amazon Basin is about the size of 48 contiguous United States and covers roughly 40% of the South American continent. So it should come as no surprise that the world's largest rainforest is home to the world's largest river by volume. The Amazon River contains more than 5 times the volume of the Congo and 12 times that of the Mississippi. It drains an area almost the size of 48 United States and has more than 1,100 tributaries. And if you're a lover of wildlife, then you'd have no shortage of creatures to spot in the Amazon. The rainforest is said to house more than 2.5 million insects, and more than half the species that call the Amazon their home are thought to live in the canopy. It's easy to get lost in the majesty of the rainforest. If you love trees, wildlife and water, then the Amazon is your next dream destination. Number 7. The Pyramids of Giza, Egypt. It would be criminal for us not to include the Great Pyramids on this list. After all, if there's one historic place in the world to visit, it's going to be Egypt. Of course, the most famous historical site in Egypt are its Pyramids of Giza, which are as beautiful as they are historically important. Located just outside the Egyptian city of Giza, there are 6 pyramids that make up this world wonder. They were built more than 1,200 years before the rule of King Tutankhamun and are the oldest and last remaining of the 7 world wonders. Egyptologists are still unsure as to exactly how the pyramids were built, but the most widely accepted theory is that the Egyptian people all helped build the monuments as an act of civil service. These builders were likely skilled laborers who were paid for their work. Each of the limestone blocks that were used in the pyramid's construction weighs 2 tons. That's roughly the same weight as a mid-sized SUV. How exactly local Egyptians were able to lift those stones, let alone build an entire pyramid out of them, is still up for debate. Some scholars say that Egyptians used a ramp and pulley system, while others, more imaginative theorists, say that the Egyptians had little help from extraterrestrials. Number 6. The Taj Mahal, India. The Taj Mahal in India can be summed up as such, the most glamorous tomb in the world. It's India's most visited attraction, and it's clear to see why. This place is more than impressive, with its symmetrical white marble construction that stands out from the azure blue of the Indian sky. If you're ever in the country, a visit to the historic city of Agra is an absolute must. Often called the symbol of true love, the Taj Mahal has been attracting travelers from around the world for its splendid history and gorgeous beauty for years. Perhaps the most famous visit to the Taj Mahal was that of Princess Diana, who intended to visit the monument with her husband. Sadly, he had other plans. The Taj Mahal is one of the 7 wonders of the world and is, unsurprisingly, the most visited tourist attraction in India. The beautiful white marble structure is the perfect amalgamation of Islamic, Persian, and Indian architecture. It was built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his 3rd wife, Mumtaz Mahal. The mausoleum captures the changing moods of the emperor's wife well by its changing hues throughout the day. In the morning, the Taj Mahal takes on a pinkish, pretty hue. In the evening, it's a stark, milky white, and at night, it shines golden in moonlit illumination. Wouldn't it be nice if all men built stunning monuments of their love for their wives? Number 5. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. If you're visiting Cambodia, be sure not to miss out of visiting the City of Temples, a large archaeological complex comprising of numerous ancient temples and other historic monuments. Perhaps the most famous temple here is Angkor Wat, which buzzes with the electric energy of thousands of years of history. As the largest religious monument in the world, Angkor Wat occupies an area of more than 400 square kilometers. Exploring the entirety of the complex would take you several days, and that's if you didn't stop once. The original wall at Angkor Wat could enclose the temple, city, and royal palace, covering an area of more than 200 acres. Sadly, nothing remains of the wall today. If you're interested in astronomy, then you'll be fascinated by this monument. Astronomy had a significant influence in the construction of Angkor Wat, with the main temple even being an observation deck to study the sun and the moon. The outer axis surrounding the complex is exactly equal to 1 solar year down to the day, while its perimeter is equal to 1 lunar year in days. There's a lot to see at Angkor Wat, especially if you love religious history. It's a shame that it's not one of the 7 wonders. Still, that doesn't mean it's worth visiting any less. Number 4. The Grand Canyon, USA. The Grand Canyon is an unfathomable 277 miles long and is more than 18 miles wide and 1.5 miles deep in some places. There's a reason why it's one of the most visited tourist destinations in the USA. It's extremely beautiful and totally awe-inspiring, with no shortage of incredible views to show you. A true testament to the majesty of the canyon is the fact that it can influence the weather. The Grand Canyon boasts an elevation spanning from around 2,000 feet to more than 8,000 feet, which allows it to enjoy a range of weather conditions. The result is a temperature increase of 5.5 degrees with each 1,000-foot loss in elevation. But beware, extraordinary vistas and incredible views are not all that await you at the Grand Canyon. There's one deadly animal that lurks in the canyon, the rock squirrel. Yes, a squirrel. From the California condors to the bighorn sheep, the canyon is home to a large variety of wildlife. But it's the rock squirrel that causes the most trouble. Dozens of visitors are bitten each year when trying to feed these little critters. So save yourself the trouble and avoid feeding any cute rodents you might see during your visit to the Grand Canyon. Instead, just enjoy the miles and miles of red rock against the sunny blue skies. Number 3. Positano, Italy. Known for its iconic pastel buildings and world-class hotels, Positano is one of the Amalfi Coast's most charming villages. The abundance of shops across the cliff celebrate the craftsmanship of Italian painters, ceramicists, and textile designers, though the best part has to be the fact that every hotel and cafe boasts idyllic views of the Mediterranean Sea. To truly appreciate the incredible view of Positano, one must not venture to its highest peak, but rather to its lowest base. The rock morphology here makes Positano look like a natural pyramid to rival that of Giza when viewed from below. The collection of brightly painted buildings in the city climb ever upward, clinging onto the rock face in a limpet-like setting. Positano is also unique for its layout, which, rather than being horizontal like most other cities in the world, is vertical. It's ranked as one of the best sloping cities in the world, and is practically etched on the face of the mountain. The colourful buildings, steeply climbing amid gardens, terraces, and lemon trees form a surreal picture that makes up Positano. If you're in Italy, this is a destination you just can't pass up. Number 2. Jaipur, India. A beloved locale of fashion mavens and designers, the Pink City of India is home to some of the country's most colourful and elaborate places, and that's saying something. Many of the original structures of the walled city, including the famous Taj Mahal Palace and the Taj Mahal, were commissioned during the 1700s. However, the dusty pink hues of Jaipur appeared later in 1876, when the city was painted to welcome the arrival of Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert. Other than being the only monochromatic city in India, there's a lot more that makes the city of Jaipur interesting. For starters, it's one of the country's first planned cities. It was planned by Bengali architect named Purohit, whose blueprint for Jaipur followed the rules according to Indian Vastu Shastra. Jaipur is also a walled city. The wall that used to surround Jaipur sat some 6 meters high and 3 meters wide, with 8 gates in all 4 directions. Locals believe that these gates protect Jaipur not only from invaders, but from natural calamities as well. So as long as you're not planning to invade Jaipur, you should be able to enter this incredible city without issue. Number 1. Avenue of the Baobabs, Madagascar. On Madagascar's western coast, dozens of ancient baobabs frame the dirt path between Morondava and Beloni Serabihina, as though they always anticipated the path's creation. The enormous 800-year-old trees extend upwards to the dusty sky, creating an incredible scene that you can view from miles away. It's said that these rare trees once formed part of a much larger forest, but thanks to urbanization, much of this forest was torn down. In an effort to preserve the path, locals have successfully petitioned for the Avenue of the Baobabs to become the first natural monument in Madagascar. Of course, it's not just baobabs that make up the avenue. About 4 miles away is another group of mammoth baobabs that are worth your time. They're known as the Baobab Amaro, or the Baobabs of Love, because of the fact that they're intertwined like 2 lovers. How romantic. If you want to get a truly magical view of this destination, visit at sunset when the golden star shines between the massive silhouettes of these trees. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Which of these incredible views would you want to see? Let us know in the comments section. If you like this video, be sure to let us know by pressing the thumbs up button down below and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world. If you never want to miss another upload, Hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video.